Hello, well, here we go again. Another one of my short videos, or shorter videos perhaps. And I'm John Langley, and I'm one of the independent, really independent mayoral candidates, along with Christine Townsend and Paul Saville. What has brought me to the camera today are two things, really. First of all, there's news that the chief executive of Bristol City Council has allegedly pocketed another £18,000 on top of a ridiculously high salary for being involved with the Green Capital project. So another £18,000, thank you very much. While there are people in the city who are struggling to live on minimum wage and those still on 0-hour contracts. This madness has got to stop. I can understand people being paid well for running the city because it is quite a responsible job and it's not an easy job. I get that. I totally accept it. But surely the salary is enough without pocketing extra money on top for extra duties. Absolutely crazy. That money should go back into the public purse. Simple as that. So what I'm going to propose to do, if and when you elect me as mayor on May the 5th, is that we will have a referendum on how much you think the executives of Bristol City Council should be paid in their salaries. If we want to add a bonus on top of that for performance, for doing well for the city and bringing in extra money, then so be it. But I think we've actually got to reduce the wages bill for executives at Bristol City Council. That's it. Because the difference between the top and the bottom in this city is ridiculous. You've got somebody earning £180,000 a year when most people out there are struggling to make ends meet. Now, is that realistic? Honestly, is that realistic? I personally don't think so. And I tell you why. Because it's your money, the money you pay in council tax, which pays the wages. And the same if I'm elected mayor, you elect me as mayor in May, then you are my boss. The public in Bristol are my boss. They pay my wages. So therefore, you have a say with everybody at the council as to how much, particularly, more to do with, if you like, the higher management and the directors, exactly how much you think they should be paid. And if they want any more money, then they should present a business case to you on why they deserve more money. And then it's for you to decide, based on their performance, whether they deserve that money or not. Simple. If they don't deserve the money, or if you feel that they haven't performed well enough to earn that money, then that is your right and that is your choice in a democratic society. And that's the way, if I'm elected on May the 5th as mayor of this city, that's the way it's going to work. And I'm afraid it's a case of where people are concerned at City Hall, it's either shape up or ship out. That's it. I want people who want to work for the city, not to boost their pension pots when they finish and retire, virtual millionaires. If that is wrong. It's not about screwing as much money out of this city as possible. Fine, have your pension. If you've earned it, great, no problem. But this is a gravy train, a real gravy train. This is rinsing public money for all it's worth. While there are essential services within this city being cut that may well affect you. And their executives are walking off with huge salaries. I mean, huge, huge salaries. And that has got to change. And if people aren't happy with it, then, and they're going to be happy in employment somewhere else, great. You know, I'm not going to stand in anybody's way. But if I'm elected mayor in May, then things are going to change. Because at the end of the day, I want to protect your money, the money that you work hard for, the money that you end up paying into City Hall. And you have every right to know what that money is being spent on, and not just that, but how that money is spent. That's the most important thing, because it's your money. You have the right to know and say on how it's going to be spent. That's the first thing out of the way. The second thing is reading in the Evening Post about this suggested ridiculous bylaw that could ban people from removing the whole or any part of any plant, shrub or tree, and effectively banning blackberry picking. What kind of nonsense is this? This, again, is just people making things up as they go along. Yes, there has been public consultation, and I'll give the City Council credit, but this should never have come up in the first place. And I'll tell you why. It's because you and I, the people who live in this city, who work in this city, who pay council taxes in this city, well, guess what? Those shrubs, those plants, those blackberries are our property. The City Council's job is to look after them on our behalf. That's it. You know, people have been picking blackberries for God knows how long. Even I did it as a kid, and people still do. Why? Because they're there, and because it's publicly owned by the people of Bristol, by you and by me. And I think it's insulting for them to suddenly suggest that we could be banned from picking what is in effect our property. That again is totally wrong. And again, that nonsense will stop if I get elected mayor. If you elect me mayor, that nonsense will stop. Great that it's gone out to public consultation. I'm all for that. But I don't want these to be tick box exercises, which the council's very good at. This at least is democratic, and I totally approve of it. But the suggestion that we should be stopped from picking blackberries, which we, or daisies even, you know, it's our city. It doesn't belong to the council. The council do not own it. We do. And that's what they've got wrong. That is what they don't understand, because it's all very autocratic. And it has to change. And it will change if you work with me to vote me in on May the 5th. Then we will work together, as I said before, and we will be on the same page in terms of making this city democratic. Speak to you again. Thank you very much for your time.